Hey, so I want to welcome you all out to our new Normal Market Mega Agent panel. I'm your host and moderator, Maurice Murphy. And so first off, I want to say, hey, thank you all for coming out. I know everybody has a busy schedule. So thank you for taking the time out to be at this panel. So we have some amazing panelists, agents, broker owners, and brokers itself. So we have some great people on this panel today. So grab your drink, get you some food, and enjoy these festivities for this evening. All right, so the moment for everybody's waiting for. So our first panelist, she's an industry leader and top producing realtor, rated in the top 3% of all agents in the state of Florida, and recently listed as number 19 in Jacksonville Journal Book of List. She has built a consistent and predictable relationship market-based business based on Buffini and Company success principles. She is the author of the book, Recognize the Difference, to educate consumers on the key traits to look for when choosing an agent. She has been featured in several magazines, including the Florida Realtor and Buffini and Company magazines. She has a passion to share her experience of personal and financial growth to help other real estate agents. Her next book, Next Level Your Life, is due out in January. Please help me welcome Ms. Wendy Griffiths. Thank you. All right, so our next panelist, she's a licensed real estate broker and certified instructor. She's a Florida Realtor Director and holds a master's degree in business administration. She's an innovative professional with the ability to identify, analyze, and solve complex problems, ensuring client satisfaction. She has over 19 years experience in operations and customer service and 14 years banking. She has been a top listing associate of the year, top sales associate, top sales by volume, and a future icon agent, a proud mother of 7 and 2 grandchildren, in which two twin daughters are assistant state attorneys here in the city of Jacksonville. She loves to travel and sell real estate. Please help me welcome Mrs. Lisa Brandon. So this next young lady needs no introduction, and she's created an experience much bigger than real estate services. She believes that we all are put on the earth to make a difference in the lives of those we touch, and she is fortunate enough to accomplish this at the highest level. She is relentless in creating 5-star client experience and lifelong relationships, which have made her the #1 realtor for 2022 by Jacksonville Business Journal. Outside of real estate, her life revolves around her 5 sons. Imagine that grocery bill. Their love for athletics and life for entrepreneurship within them. Her authentic relationships are what drives her through business, community, friendships, and partners. Also, Biggie Smalls. Baby. Please help me welcome Mrs. Melissa Riggs.
Appreciate that. Biggie Smalls for life. Thank you.
The next up is, he began his career as a project manager for a national construction company before going into real estate full-time in 2012. He has a strong background in construction, understands the real estate investment market, how to navigate each project and its individual needs. He is a co-founder and CEO of Freedom Home Buyers. Please help me welcome Mr. O.B. Dorsey. All right, last but not least, a good friend of mine who's selling real estate since 2016. We focus on social media relationship building and digital farming. He has a passion for helping others, agents, learn to multiply their business and family time through subtraction. He's from Canada, but we won't hold it against him. He's lived in the U.S. since 1998, minus the 2 years in Botswana. He's married to his beautiful bride, Anne Marie. They share a son, Luke, who attends Florida Gulf Coast University, a daughter, Savannah, who attends Neath High School, and he is a member of the newly named F3 Home Team. Please help me welcome Mr. Austin Park.
Whoop, whoop.
Like the high five.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So we all have busy schedules as realtors. We're always burning night up and night oil. We're trying to do everything we can for our clients. And so we're gonna ask some great questions to these panelists to get their opinions and strategies of what they're doing in their business so you all can have some value and take away what they're doing. So the first question is, how do you manage your busy work schedule and personal life?
Okay, hello. So for me, I think the best thing that I have learned over the years that has helped me balance is delegating and hiring staff And I know there's a lot of resistance in this industry as a single agent to hire that first person, right? But once you've hired that first person, usually it's a transaction coordinator or personal assistant, your world will open up, your time will get more free. And so I have just built with staff. And so I have 3 full-time admin and then several licensed assistants. So I do encourage people to do that. And then I turn my phone off at 7 o'clock at night, and my voicemail says, if it's after 7, I'll get back to the next business day. It also says, I don't answer phone on Sundays either. So now, granted, if I'm in the middle of negotiating a transaction and there's something time sensitive, I will work, but I really try and say, I'm done at 7, and the rest of the time is with my family.
Yeah, that was good. Hey, guys. I'm Lisa Brandon. I would say for balancing with family, as y'all know, I already have 7 children and 2 grandchildren, so I'm very busy between the kids. But with real estate, one thing I say is time blocking. That's the most important part. I know what time events are on what days, and I know what time I need to cut off those particular days. If I can't do it, I'll try to get another agent to show it for me and move it out. But to me, family is number one. And you know, we are huge. When we come out, it's 14 of us. It's a bunch of us. So we go to a lot of events together. We eat together about 3 times a week. So for me, time blocking is gonna be number one.
Well, that's about it. That's about it. I've got nothing else to say. No, I'm just kidding. So listen, if you know me or you follow any of my social media platforms, if you're not, you should. So I'm gonna pretty much shift every question that comes to me towards mindset. For me, this conversation, and I just sounded off on Facebook about it the other day, is about your mindset and expectations and being okay with when you can show up versus when you can't show up, and be okay with that. Do the best that you can. So for me, I have a busy life too. I've got 5 sons. They're all younger. They're all in sports. We do all the things. We run 4 businesses. Whatever, you name it, we're involved. At the end of the day, all I can do every day when I get up is do the best that I can do. When I can be there, I can be there. When I can't, I can't. Yes, I believe in delegating. Yes, I believe in hiring. Yes, I believe in time blocking. But even with those things, you are still going to run into challenges with work-life balance. It's never going to be perfect. Stop being so hard on yourself. Show up when you can, and when you can't, be okay with it. If you don't set expectations with the people in your life, whether it's your family, your friends, even down to your customers. Look, I have a very honest conversation with every person I work with. I'm incredibly busy. I love you. I will be there when I can be there, and when I'm not, you have to love me through it and know I'm gonna be there when I can. They will love you for the honesty and the vulnerability, I promise you. So be okay with setting those expectations up front. Set them with your family. My 9-year-old could probably tell you more about how I run a business or how people run a business as entrepreneurs than most adults, because I've set those expectations since he was 2 years old. They're never too young to have those conversations. It's never too harsh. It doesn't come off bad. And let go of the parent guilt. If you've got it, you gotta let go of it. You gotta just do the best you can. So mindset all day long is my jam.
Alright, so I've drawn the short straw and I get to sit
Sorry.
next to Melissa, so anything I say after what she
Stop
says is gonna
it.
sound really stupid.
You're so
Should be
great.
okay.
We'll start that way next time.
I might stand a chance.
You'll sound really smart.
So, I think it comes down to being intentional, right? So like that time blocking that we heard about, the delegating that we heard about, but just to have a plan and to work the plan. And then like when you're at work, you're in work mode. Like you've turned out you've put on the blinders and you're focused. And when you're at home, you've turned off the phone and you're present and you're focused. And you get a lot more done in both aspects of life and actually be where you're supposed to be if your mindset is right and you are where you're supposed to be. So, that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I wouldn't have thought about that.
So I'm gonna say I'm really bad at math. We all can do 3% of anything, right? Or 2.5 or 2% of anything these days, maybe. But I like to do a lot of multiplication through subtraction. What I mean by that is I'm constantly looking for things to cut. I need to cut activities that I'm doing that aren't bringing me money, that aren't bringing me business. And even my database, everyone talks about you need to get your database bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, shoot, man, I'm getting over 300 people in here. I need to start cutting it down because I just want to be able to deal with the people, deal with the relationships I can actually like go deeper into and spend time with. I can't keep track of 2,000 people. And when my database got that big, it just started, I always felt like there was a weight and a pressure on me. Like, man, there's something else I should be doing. There's someone else I should be reaching out to. But once I cut a lot of that stuff out, and some ways of doing that, it's just way more freeing, and you can actually just go deeper and enjoy the people that you have relationships with. So that's a big one. And if you want to share a quick conversation that you can have with, you sit down with buyers, sellers, whoever, and when you're sitting right there at the table with them, just have that conversation that you guys are talking about, setting boundaries. Like, hey, right now, I'm sitting here with you, David, and you notice I'm not on my phone, I'm not checking text messages, I'm not making phone calls, right? I mean, how rude would that be? You'd probably fire me on the spot, right? Well, that same respect I'm giving you, I need to give that to my wife and give that to my children as well. So after 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever that is, I'm not going to be texting, I'm not going to be on the phone. And then it's just the same respect you're giving to your customers, you're just giving it to your family. And for the most part, everyone's been cool with that. If they're not, they're probably not a good fit anyways.
Love that.
Right.
So good. That's so good.
Absolutely.
Keep it.
So next up, so how do you give value to your customers and clients?
Subtraction. I mean, so just, I mean, yeah, the same principle fits, right? If I'm trying to be in relationship with 2,000 people, it ain't gonna happen. If I've identified like 30 VIPs that are bringing me, they're doing business with me and they're bringing me business, and I can do events and I can invite them to things, I can have them in my house. It's just a deeper, better, more rich experience, I think, than trying to be all things to all people.
That sounds so easy. If you show up when you say you're going to show up and do what you say you're going to do and communicate a little bit more than the absolute bare minimum, you're gonna be heads and tails above everybody else. So just follow through and do what you say you're gonna do.
I would say for me, the conversation about, that's such a broad question, and I really think that it's situational, dependent on the person that you're interacting with. I would say you need to start with yourself and understand how to learn the people that you're in front of. I try to pride myself on being a chameleon and understanding what type of relationship each person, everybody is so different. If I'm working with 25 people right now, I have to shift my mindset and conversation every time I get on the phone. So being hyper aware, and that starts with intentionality. And I have to circle back around to what Austin said because it was brilliant. And if you didn't receive it, choose to receive it now. Honing in on your database and taking the people that you know and love and have loyal relationships with over the next 12 to 18 months as this market starts to really, really get tough. Those are your people. I hear this all the time, specifically from lenders. I don't want to work with 1,000 realtors. I want to work with the ones that I know are super loyal to me. You have to take the same mindset with buyers and sellers and your loyal people that are in your database and tighten that up a little bit because they're going to be the ones that you need to lean into for consistent business because they trust you. So I think providing value, that's such a broad thing. Like, of course you want to be educated. Of course you want to be a resource. Of course you want to be there for them when they need you. But in which aspect do they all individually need you? And how intentional are you being with that specific group of people so that you can provide them what they need? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Was that helpful? Sorry. Okay.
To show the value, I would say my approachability and the fact that I'm there. I will answer the phone late at night. I will discuss between you and your husband, giving you different synopsis to help you decide on the house. I'm there for the arguments. I'm there to talk you off the ledge. When they call and say, if they ask me for this paperwork one more time, I'm going to scream. I'm going to walk away. So I think for me, it's more of the support. And as I'm supportive and through the process, it actually turns into a family situation. We become friends. And now we can move on and go to other activities together. So I think for me, it's going to be more of the support.
For me, I follow Brian Buffini, as he mentioned in my bio, and one of the things he really talks about is competence and care. 60% competence, 40% care. Now, it's not mathematical, right, obviously, but the concept is that need to show up with competence to add value to the transaction when you're working with the buyer or seller. So really tightening your skills, you guys are my people because you came to learn, right? Like, I am all about learning and all about what can I do to get better, right? So how can I improve my competence? And there's so many negotiation skills, analysis skills, like just really understanding so much about what's happening so that you can then bring that value to the relationship. And then, of course, we've talked quite a bit about the caring part. Like, you can be a really great real estate agent, but if you don't care about the clients, you're not going to go very far in your business and a career. And so being able to demonstrate your value through how you care, just a really quick note, I host on average 3 or 4 client parties a year. I do a ton of lunches and coffees. My goal is to write 50 personal notes a month. Last month I did 75 because I'm really having to up my game. Just being engaged in people's lives, right? And showing that I care about their kids and what's going on. Facebook, of course, social media, those kinds of things. So that to me is not specifically value, but when you show up in a relationship, it's valuable.
Okay, so we've kind of talked about it a little bit. The market's changing and interest rates have changed how people are approaching the market. So from your all's perspective, what strategies or action plans have you done in your business this year to overcome this changing market?
That was the one question I was prepared for.
Because that's all we've been talking about. Like earlier this week, I think I've been to 3 events and like, what are you doing? Shifting. And so I want to just give a little background so you understand where this comes from. I survived the Great Recession. So if you've been in this business longer than 10 years, you may have a little post-traumatic recession disorder like I do. And if you haven't, then the big theme I'm hearing a lot is there's a lot of fear and uncertainty and what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And I struggle with that fear still, right? The good news is what's used to derail me a month, I can probably get over in about 30 seconds now. And I catch myself saying, what if, and oh no, and oh yeah, shut up, we're moving on. So to answer your question directly, what I learned during the Great Recession is that there's still business to be had. What do they call it? Food, shelter, clothing, right? We're in the shelter business. You need a place to live. So we're in one of the top 3 needs of a human being. So we just got to figure out where are the shelter needs. And during the recession, it was short sales. So I had to learn short sales. I didn't want to, but I had to because that was the need of the market at that time. And so really trying to understand what is the need of this upcoming market. And then the thing that I learned the most, and I don't know if you guys analyze this, and I hate to use the word lead, but just from a pragmatic business owner side, when I get an incoming client, right, buyer or seller, that's a lead potentially, we track how many leads we get and how many convert, right? You should know your ratios. And during the Great Recession, pre-Great Recession, it was about 3 to 1 for 3 potential leads. And these are repeat and referral client leads. So internet leads would be different, open house leads would be different, expireds would be different. I could usually convert, guarantee 1, that was the average. During the Great Recession, it was 10 to 1. Last few years, it was like 1 to 1, right? I'm gonna find you a house, we're gonna do it, or we're gonna sell your house in minutes, right? So my goal is to increase my leads. If I wanna maintain the same volume that I've been doing, I've got to not just double, but probably quadruple the number of leads that I'm getting.
That was good. Yes. Okay, I as well was in real estate back then, before the crash. It came out in 2002. This is a little different. People do have money that they're able to work with. So for me, I do a lot of military as well. So for me, what I'm doing is building a pipeline of new construction. The best way for me to secure how I'm gonna get paid is to make sure that I've got a minimum of at least 3 per month closing. I've got them lined up for January, February, and March. If you're doing new construction, they're building now. Line them up. January through May. You can already know what's closing and then just keep in touch with the people. The good thing for me is being that they're military, I'm not having new construction, it's easy peasy. Once we do the contract, they do the rest, okay? We don't even have to do the contract. So the great thing is just keeping in touch with them. If they're calling from Bahrain, of course, you're gonna have to answer at night, and that's okay. I'm fine with answering the phone. I'm fine with doing the virtual walkarounds, but I am gonna secure that with new construction. That's always gonna be my first push, and I try to keep a pipeline going, and that's what I do.
Okay, so Wendy killed me because I had like 5 piggyback points while you were talking, and then I kept losing my train of thought because you kept going and you kept dropping nuggets, and then I just, and if you know my brain, man, it's a struggle. But she said some really great stuff. So a couple things that I will say, when you talked about how during the recession your leads went up from say 3 to 1 to 10 to 1. What that means is your online leads still may come in, however, conversion is going to be lower naturally during any type of market like this. You have a lot of people asking questions. I've told my team over and over for the last couple of months, we have to be prepared for our business that came from online lead generation to completely ghost for a bit. This is the time where you have to lean into your database. You have to love on your people. You have to lean into your loyal relationships. What I'm seeing, and I track, like I sort just like you do, everything that we do every single month, every single quarter, we lean into our sources that are the highest ratio. If you're not sourcing and tracking where your stuff is coming from, you're missing the ability to lean into truly what's actually working in your business. And the thing about real estate is every time our market changes or we go through another cycle, those sources change, right? So you have to be willing to pivot and change with that. So what I've seen in the last quarter, 90% of what we have pending came from a prior relationship or a prior client or somebody in our database or our sphere of people. So what did that tell us? That said now we have to go back into these people and love on them even more. So what other things are you doing to love on your people that already love you and are loyal to you? Are you sending them handwritten cards? Are you inviting them out for happy hour? Are you calling them up when you see on Facebook that it's their wedding anniversary or it's their kid's birthday? Are you showing up on a Saturday when you're slow because business is slow right now? Are you going the extra mile to make sure that your people know that you're there? If you're not, do better because that's where your business is going to come from. The other thing that I will say is there's never been more open house opportunities in the last 3 years than there is right now.
I know, everybody's doing it.
And I apologize if you've been in anything I've had anything to do with this week because I've talked about it every single day this week. There's over 7,000 homes in inventory in MLS right now. There's a ton of agents. If they're not in your brokerage, get their email off the MLS and send them an email and say, I would love to hold an open house here. I personally have close to $2 million pending right now from people that came through open houses. I host 3 to 4 open houses a weekend. Like none of us are above doing open houses. I don't care how much business you do. If you say you want to protect your business, put yourself in positions that you can meet people in person, face to face, build a rapport, build a relationship. And that's, I mean, this is old school stuff. I mean, this is not new stuff. Everyone got spoiled the last couple of years. No one had to do them. It takes 2 hours out of your time. 2 hours, done. Let the people come to you. If you're not taking those opportunities, and call me. I've got plenty of inventory. Love to have you host them. Sorry.
Okay, so I think I'm generally a house buyer, right? Like that's what we do, and the market shifting obviously is more inventory on the market. My approach at this point is to gain market share. In a recession, market share gained is kept coming out of the recession, and I think there's going to be additional deals on the market. We bought a couple off of MLS this week, which is we're typically buying them off market and bringing them onto market. So that's a welcome sign to me that we're able to source inventory from MLS and from agents and from referrals. So I'm a buyer. If you guys have properties that you guys want to unload, definitely interested in buying those. And then, like we're planning to grow into the recession, meaning like we're expanding by spending additional marketing dollars. We're gonna acquire talent. That's my plan. So, I'm frankly, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of optimistic about this shift, meaning I think there's going to be some tremendous opportunities that come out of it. And that's the mindset that I'm going into it with. And I know there's going to be difficulties and headwinds and, stuff I thought was worth one price and turns out it's not because of the market. But I'm very confident that we're going to prevail and just keep moving forward on stuff. So.
I'm a positive guy, right?
Super positive. Thank you for that.
Can I bring some real talk though?
Yeah.
And be a bit of a downer just for a second?
No, you cannot.
Too bad. So printed out this morning, I don't know if you guys use Domus or whatever. I can't find InfoSparks anymore. What happened to InfoSparks? Anyways, I'll rant on that another time. New stats this morning for October. paying very close attention recently to new pendings, because new pendings is new things that have gone under contract. Last month, so September was down 36.1% from September in 2001. This one right here, 38.7% lower. So October, we had 38.7% fewer deals than we did in October of 2021. And when there's fewer deals, that means it's a smaller pie, or there's not as many pieces of the pie. And that means the fact is that a lot of people that are doing real estate as a career today won't be doing this 3 months to 18 months from now. And we do not want that to be you guys. You guys are the ones that are here. You're the ones that are, doing the work and putting in the time to get your businesses straight. But if we're just all up here like Pollyanna, like there's nothing really that bad happening, we'll probably be doing you a disservice. So we need awareness, right? Awareness in your business, awareness on what's going on. And once there's awareness, you can start making shifts and changes. And that's why everyone's talking about doing 30% more work, 50% more work, double in a lot of cases. And so able to do that, again, I keep going back to some traction. So it's finding out what are the things that you're doing in your business that are actually making you money. So many of we agents, and me too, and probably everyone up here, at least at some point, just wants to feel busy. And so we do a lot of things so we can justify our work day. Hey honey, yeah, I had a great day at work today, but I didn't do anything that produced money, because chances are, at least at that time, I didn't know what was dollar producing and what wasn't. I thought I'm being a really good agent because I'm checking in with this customer, or I'm going and shooting a video over here, just doing different things that aren't really bringing in the money. So first thing is awareness, like what in your business is actually producing you money, and then it's dialing up on those things and not just on activity in general. And then the second part of it is, again, subtraction. It's cutting the fat. Like, what leads are you buying? What things have you signed up for? Because if you just got one deal out of it, it's worth it. And you haven't got that deal out of it, and you're still paying for, like, go through your credit card statement tonight and see if you have reoccurring charges. $25 here, $30 there, $500 a month over here. Start cutting that stuff out, because it's the quickest way to give yourself a raise. Just stop spending the things that aren't generating money for you. Man, I feel like I'm
Just
like
stop
Dave
going to
Ramsey or
Starbucks.
something.
Why are you yelling at all of us?
I know.
I feel like you're yelling at me right now.
I'm
Will
just-
not give up Starbucks. Me neither.
There you go.
I know.
We need such a question, right?
Yeah.
Just because of
From
that.
you? Yeah.
So first half of the year, Jacksonville had the highest rate of investor purchases in the country. It was 34%. And Wall Street hedge funds, not just Obi, but and I get your emails, and so they're awesome. But so we had the highest rate, so that one third dropped out, right? And so now if we're closing like 2/3 what we're closing in the first half of the year, honestly, it's real people, which is not a bad thing. So also the first half of the year, Jacksonville, Florida had the highest fall through rate in the country. We had the highest number of contracts that were falling through. It's 30%. And I do with old houses, and old houses always has kind of a fall through rate, but I mean, it was the highest in the country. And now what I'm seeing that people aren't using their sister's best friend. What they're doing is they're calling someone who people are like, okay, well, you need a good realtor, call this person, right? And so my leads, right, but from referral base, I mean, it's not necessarily affordable, it's actually, they're actually a little higher quality.
Yes.
And if those higher quality people, they're real people, right? And if they actually don't cancel 10 contracts before they actually close, there's still tears. But honestly, I think we're entering into a time where maybe there's a little bit more reality, where real people that are really working hard, I think those of us are actually going to do okay. I mean, I think that 1/3 dropping out, and the 2/3 were close. I mean, I think it's kind of more normal.
I'm with you 100%. This is why I'm saying
It's still hard, though,
they're
but-
going to refer the people that they know and trust as experts in this field that are going to take care of their people. That's why you have to be leaning into it. But I think you're right. The business is going to come. It's going to be more legitimate, but it's going to be less. So as an industry with how many agents we have, the ones that are left standing that are all working better be working for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that you're going to see You're gonna see removal of people that are just hanging around, just waiting for business to come, because it came in 2020 and 2021. That is not gonna happen anymore. But I'm
But let me bring the positive parts of this now, because I scolded everyone, waved my finger.
You did.
I know.
Awesome.
I'm happy with that guy. But, so here's the thing. Here's the good news in all of that, because all y'all, I'm Canadian and I can say all y'all, right?
That was good.
All y'all are gonna still be here, and so let's say we're 11,000 agents, 4,000 are out, was that 5,000?
No, they will be.
So the number of transactions dips, right? And agents drop out, then there's this sweet spot right here, where all of a sudden things are going back up. Now there's a lot of transactions happening, and there's not a lot of agents out there in there. So my whole spiel on cutting fat in maybe your personal expenses, in your business expenses, is just to like build really good habits right now. And so you're gonna be the Melissa Rick superstar, rock star agent, because as you're coming up out of here, not only gonna have fewer agents to compete with, if you wanna talk about competition, we don't talk about competition,
No.
right? We're
You versus
just
you.
friends,
That's
right?
it. You versus you.
That's right, collaboration.
Yeah.
That you're not gonna collaborate with, but more deals, and you're gonna have a leaner budget, you're gonna be leaner and meaner, you're gonna have better habits, and you're just this is gonna change you, it's gonna shape you, it's just gonna make you make you more professional, make you more pro. So you come out the other side of this, you're gonna be so strong, and that's when millionaires are built, and that little curve when it starts coming back up. So
Yeah.
I did have a positive
Good
thing
job.
to it.
Well done. Thank you for bringing that back around.
I did want to say, is that okay? I mean, if I had a chance, didn't want to take over the mic, but I wanted to piggyback on what you said about market share. And I think that, and also on the statistics. So I have a degree in statistics, and so I kind of pay attention. But we talked about mindset and not beating yourself up for what you did last year that you didn't do this year. Because last year was like a turkey could fly in a hurricane, right? Like anybody could sell a house. You didn't have to really work that hard. So I've kind of tried to say, where was I in 2019? And have I improved since then, right? And then the part two of the market share during the Great Recession, I would tell you, I wanted to quit. It was the hardest time of my life. I tried to quit, nobody would hire me because I've been a realtor for 11 years, and apparently you have no skills after you've been a realtor for more than 10 years. And so I had to burn my bridges. So to me, that's really what you have to, from a mindset perspective, like, okay, this could be hard. It may not be as hard as everybody's worried about, right? But it will definitely have some hardship to it. Get your mindset right. Know that the transactions counts may be lower. Hopefully you have put some reserves aside from the great last 2 years. And then really pour into your relationships, because when the market shifts more favorably, you will have gained market share because of the relationships you have built. And those people will be loyal to you because you stayed in contact even when there wasn't a deal on the table.
Amen.
That's good.
So good.
Good. All right, so we've talked about the market and it's shifting. We talked about agents coming out of the market. So what, from you, each one of you, what has been your why to keep you going through these changing markets that we have going on right now?
You can start back.
For me to keep me going through the market would be sphere of influence in the referral business. I've got a huge referral business and they keep me busy. I get promotions, I just lost my train of thought.
So what's been your why? What has been your actual why of?
Well, my
keeping you
why
going
is
through this?
because I love helping buyers realize their dream of home ownership. So I get really excited when we're going through the process. So with me going, we're excited, like I said, loving on them and supporting them. I'm invited to family function. It doesn't take but one cousin to tell an auntie, who tells a grandma, who tells the neighbor. And my phone is always ringing off referrals. And then, like I said, with military, they spread it among the base. So if I use them, and like I said, overseas, then you have another one calling from Bahrain and different countries. So that's it for me.
My answer is pretty lame.
Come on, Lamo.
I'll own it. I have a deep, deep, deep love and obsession for human beings. That's just it. That's my why. That includes my clients, my business partners, my family, my kids. I've never had, my family wasn't my why, or like I love my kids, but like it's like for me, it's just there's a different, I don't know, when you do something and you genuinely just love your walk of life with human beings and the connections that you can make. I don't care if I was selling pooper scoopers. If I got to meet people, is that a thing? Pooper scoopers?
It is. Yes, it is.
I mean, listen, y'all, I would sell pooper scoopers for real. If it meant I got to meet people and connect with them and be a part of their life. I mean, I look at like my staff, like I get to empower these women and be a part of their lives and their families. I mean, that's what I thrive in. I literally could care less about a transaction count. I could care less about a paycheck. To this day, I don't even think I've ever calculated a paycheck of mine, ever. And that's not everybody's direction and goal, and that's fine, but I would just really challenge you at a time like this where, you know, when Wendy says things like, I look back to my business in 2019 and I try to compare it to, like, I don't take 2020 and 2021 as a comparison point, that's smart. But are there people in this room that didn't have a business in 2019 because you're brand new? So how do you think? So let me tell you this, if you're not ready to work, you better get ready, because that's what we were doing in 2019, 18, 17, like that's what you were having to do. If you're not doing it because you have a deep-rooted passion for the service that you're providing, you're probably not in the right realm, and that work is gonna be really hard for you to do. So 4 open houses to me on the weekend is a blast. You know why? Because I get to cross paths with human beings, and they're dope, you know? So that's kind of lame, humans, that's my why. And Biggie.
So, like the PC answer is for my family or for my customers. Mine's probably like I just have a crippling insecurity that I want to do more and better than I've done. So,
I love that.
yeah, selfish.
You don't want to-
Parent,
Be real.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've started the business to have freedom and to have control of my own destiny, and I wouldn't do anything else for all the money in the world, so.
I'm just gonna kind of
That
combine.
makes me so happy.
I'm gonna combine you two.
I love the honesty.
What other business can we go and like sell someone else's stuff? You know, there's no like investment on the front end, right? But like we get to work with people, we get to have fun with people, we're serving people, so we get to, you know, you get the little I don't know, maybe not ego hit, but like you get to feel appreciated and like what's the best thing when the people that didn't think they could buy that house and you help them buy that first house, you get that house sold, it feels great, doesn't it? We get to do that all at the same time, so you get to work with people while making good money at the same time too. I don't hate that. But the why on that is I'm really focused right now as I'm getting later in life. I'm not quite 50, just about. Trying to build some location freedom, trying to build some passive income, just getting more into what Obi does here with investments. It's just you're on the front line, so you get to find that stuff before other people. Like it's just a great opportunity all around. I can tell I'm rambling right now, so I'm going to stop and pass it back down.
You're so good, my friend. You ramble anytime.
So I like money. I'm not gonna lie. And so when I got into real estate, I needed to make money, right? And so I went to work making money. But what I found, I matured, was that I enjoyed making money by helping people, being their guide, being that person who they trusted, that I could help them accomplish a goal. I really valued that. And I still like making money, but that's not my why anymore. But what I found, and you had said as you get older, right? So I think the most important thing is to know your whys will change over time. And what was important to you when you're 30 might be different than when you're 50 or 60 or whatever. But what I've learned over time is I want to build a legacy. And I know that that's maybe a little tagline or whatever, but that's where I've gotten to in my relationships. Now I've got 20 years of client relationships that keep coming back and keep coming back. I had goosebumps just talking about it. And I want to be the family realtor, and I want to be the person that when I die, there'll be 1,000 people at my funeral that said, this woman helped me, right? Like at the end of the day, that's where my heart and soul ends up at. And not to be altruistic, but I also love to travel. And this is the kind of business where you can work even though it sucks. But you can work from Italy if you're in Italy, right? If you build a business, you can still. I put 2 deals together while I was in Italy in September. So with help, of course, so I've built a business with staff and support. We have a great community of agents here that really will help each other. So anyway, that's my why.
All right, so we've talked about whys, we've talked about a lot of things. So what is the vision you have for your business in the next couple of years?
I think I just shared it, so we'll pass it on.
Well, included with my why with my 7 children, I have some that are starting in real estate. So my why is gonna be, and my future goals would be, to actually open up a building that's gonna do real estate. My twin daughters are already lawyers, they're state attorneys now, so they'll be done with their 3 years and able to do independent law. So we're looking at moving them into real estate, and then just bringing in other members of the family, and then, like she said, creating a legacy, generational wealth. And I feel that anybody can sell real estate with the right training, and I would love for all my kids and all my nieces and nephews to come on. So I brought on a few, and we're just gonna keep growing and building. So that's me. I love to travel, I love to eat. If you know me, I'm in Jacksonville, I'm overseas, I'm everywhere. So
Yeah, girl.
I definitely believe in the flexibility and the freedom of all of that.
What's the question?
Your vision for your
Ain't
business.
just for the business.
What's your vision for your business in the next couple of years? What do you see Melissa Ricks in 2 years?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a planner. I'm a planner. I wanna keep meeting dope people. Whether I grow, cool. If I stay where I'm at, cool. I wanna keep doing dope things, loving people, being me, being honest and authentic. Of course I've got like thoughts, like, I mean, shit, I feel like I could be like president of the United States, I'm not gonna lie. Like, somebody like challenge me to it, I'm pretty certain I can get there. But I don't know, man, I just wanna live a dope life and be around cool people and create a legacy for my kids. You know, I stopped having all these like, you know, a couple years ago, yeah, I want to have a brokerage, and I want it to be here, and I want it to be there, and you know, stuff changes, the market changes, life changes, seasons of life changes. I just want to keep loving what I do. My idea of success is when you wake up every morning and you're genuinely fulfilled, that's success. I don't care how much is money in your bank account. I don't care what your title is. You wake up every morning and you smile and you're genuinely happy and fulfilled. That is ultimate success. So. I guess that's where
The vision for the future, I've got a small team of 20 people, and I want those employees that work with me for 10 years or longer to be able to retire. And so I'm pouring back into the team that's helped me build my business and trying to get them financially free. And I want my company ultimately to be an employee-owned company, because I don't want to make money with my team for the next year, next couple of years. I want to make money with my team for the next 20 years. So kind of having that longer term vision.
What's your idea of financially free? It's random, but.
I mean, just your income, your passive income to offset your active or your expenses.
Okay, so
With an
like
ex-
I always
with-
ask that
with an-
question. 'Cause I
with
hear
an
a lot.
excess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So I gotta get my debt down to do that.
Dave Ramsey, Lori,
It's like buying new cars.
Lifestyle investor, you read that? That's-
Okay. Thanks.
you'd be surprised how little it actually takes to be financially free, provided that stuff's paid off and that you don't have a lot of debt and you've got some money coming in.
Cool. I'll work on that.
Cool. Gosh. Does anyone even care? So I'd like to see. I've been transitioning a little bit over more into a coaching role in some cases. Just I get the working with people and helping people, helping agents grow without having to deal with some of the downside of customers sometimes. So I've been enjoying that aspect of things, and we'll see if I decide to make that more of a full-time thing in the next couple of years. But I don't. Yeah, I'm with you, Melissa. I'm sort of doing things, and I sort of shift a little bit, and then this market has shifted me back a little bit to real estate. Like I need my pipeline built back up, and I've been doubled down on that right now. So just head down the next 18 months and get my real estate stuff where it needs to be, and then just adding a little bit of coaching stuff here and there.
Okay. So next question is, what are your predictions for the market in 2023?
I'm glad you.
Anyone want to start with that?
Let it go for
Just
a while.
prediction.
I think
hold you to it.
rates are going to go up again. I think that transactions are going to go down. I think it's going to be just a new. I think it's just new opportunities. It's not the same opportunities we've had for the last 2 years, but there's always opportunity, and like I said, I think coming through 2023 into 24, I think things are going to start getting better. And I just want to have a chair in that musical chairs, you know, when the music stops, and when things start, you know, going back up again. Man, I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to be on this ride when this market shifts again back towards whatever that looks like. But I don't know squat.
The question one more time.
What are your predictions about this market in 2023?
I think 2023 is gonna be a bloodbath.
Oh my God, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Same words.
Buckle
Are y'all
up,
related?
buckle up, guys, it's gonna get bumpy, so.
Okay, so here's my 2 cents on what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna piggyback it with how I think that people should be like addressing it. So the best way I can describe the market right now, and I've had this conversation with sellers and buyers too, is we are at the very beginning stages of a buyer-seller standoff. It is a game of chicken, right? So who's going to balk first, who's gonna back first? And they are both operating with ego. And it's our jobs as professionals to have hard conversations and educate them and walk them through how to get what they don't see as a win-win, but what we know is a win-win. So in my mind, and this is not a stat, so don't quote me on this or go running and telling somebody that Melissa Ricks dropped some stat that's not a stat. I believe that it takes 6 to 10, maybe 12 months to re-correct the brains of consumers when you see a market shift like this, okay? So we have sellers who are still stuck in this 2021, the peak's not over, no, I can still list 50 grand over, right? Yeah, no, let's just try it this way for a couple of weeks. And you're like, okay, buddy, a couple of weeks, I'll call you back, you take my price reduction advice, and they say, yeah, and then they don't. It's a whole thing, right? Buyers, now they are feeling super egotistical, rates are up, they've got all this negotiating power, they're gonna come into Mr. Seller and they're gonna talk him down, they're gonna do this, and so now you're in this toxic game of chicken. And it's with every single transaction. And I'm telling you, as inventory continues to increase and rates do not decrease, it's going to get worse. But here's the kicker, and this is what you need to take with you. There will still be purchases and sales. That will never stop, right? If you don't operate every day with the best mindset possible and saying, okay, this is what we're dealing with, it's toxic, but how can I make sure my foundation is secured? Every day I'm pouring it into myself. I'm making sure I'm going out there with a smile on my face and I'm hustling and I'm grinding through it because guess what? You didn't come to this place to fail. Like everybody that's in this room came here to win, right? You want to be the best version of you or else you wouldn't have taken your time out on an evening to come sit in front of some people that know a couple of things, right? Like we're all here because we know some stuff, but like choose your mindset and the way you approach it. Everybody is going to talk, especially in this industry over the next 6 months about what a doomsday this is and oh gosh, woe is me, it's so hard. Choose to stop thinking in that tunnel. Get yourself out of that because your personality and how you're taking that will 1,000% convey to your people or the people you're coming across. What would happen if I went to 4 open houses this weekend and I'm all bummed out because rates just went up or whatever happened and I'm walking around doom and gloom? No one that walks through that door is going to want to do business with me, right? Like check your mindset, check how you're coming off. All the other stuff we cannot control. Guess what? Nobody in this room can control where the rates go. Nobody in this room can control whether buyers are being cocky or sellers are being delusional. We can have conversations with them, right? We can educate them. We can do all the things. What you can control is yourself. And again, sorry for going off on a rampage. I told you I'd go into mindset with pretty much every question because truly, like that to me should be your top priority, especially in an industry that will eat you up and spit you out if you let it. So just don't let it, girl. Call me if you need anything.
Okay, but
She's gonna encourage me. Sorry.
It all together.
Sorry, guys.
I think she's answered the question altogether. It's uncertain, the rates are going up. My recommendation would be basically to learn to do creative financing. Figure out how to make the deal work. Learn how to be a negotiator. figure out with the other listing agent, they know what the seller wants, and you're the buyer's rep, if you're working with the buyer's rep, and you know exactly what your seller wants, try to make it work. I don't know if you have to do a 60-day lease option. I don't know if you need to extend it out, whatever you need to do. If you need to talk about 2-1 buy downs, whatever you need to do to make it work. So just being creative is what's gonna get you through. But yeah, the rates are gonna continue to go up. That's
good.
Yeah, that's good, yeah. And people have money, so we're still.
True, that is true.
So one thing I have learned around the years is to never try and predict what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I am not going to tell my seller what I think is gonna happen, and I'm not gonna tell my buyer what I think is gonna happen. Now, I'm gonna say, these things are possibilities, there's this possibility and this possibility, and then like, lay them all out. But I'm not, and we'll joke, okay, let me get my crystal ball, hold on, like, I'm just letting you know, I don't wanna predict that. And I learned that, again, just not trying to be, going back to the history, but I think if you fail forward, right? So during the Great Recession, I was not in the right mindset. I did not have the right skills. I had no hope. And I let the negativity of everything that was happening really get me down. And I was going to quit. But what I would say is that I remember during those times, like, this could only last another year. Like, it can't last any longer. Like, that's got to be done, right? And then 2 years. 3 years, I'm like, certainly it's got to be over soon, right? So I am done saying this is going to last 3 months, 6 months, 18 months. I'm not going to predict that. But what I will do, and these two ladies called it perfectly, get your mindset right every day. I'm coming into this market with a definitely more positive mindset because I know what I can control is me. And I'm putting all the good stuff in and get your skills up, right? Like I'm actually doubling down on the classes that I'm taking. I am traveling to learn as much as I can about negotiation skills and emotional intelligence, another huge skill that we practice, right? But when was the last time you read Emotional Intelligence by John Goldman or George, what's his last name? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Goldman is his last name. Anyway, those are the skills you're gonna need in this market, right? Being able to communicate, understanding how they're wired, what they're going through, understanding how you're wired and what you're going through, and being able to put a deal together, figure it out, right? It's gonna be hard, don't take it personally. That's the other thing. I remember when the market crashed and I was helping people sell their houses that I helped them buy for half of what they paid for it. And I owned that for a long time, and that's not my problem. The higher rates is not your problem, right? We're here to help solve how to get around them and have a transaction. People are still going to buy and sell, maybe less, but they will be buying and selling, so.
All right.
Yes, we had a comment down there.
Could you repeat the book? Are you sure?
The what?
The book?
It's called Emotional Intelligence. I think his last name is Goldman. It reads like a psychology book though, so I have a list on my website of my preferred top 10 books to read, and there's a couple on there on emotional intelligence. My book that I wrote, chapter 1 is on emotional intelligence. That's a shameless plug. But feel free to see me after. I'm happy to share.
All right. So next question up is, what is your business plan for next year? And a follow-on is, do you plan on making any changes to your current strategy?
I know I just spoke for a while, but I'm Monroe. Okay. So business plan, one of the things that I do is we sit down in early December with the next year's calendar. And I really focus on the marketing that I'm doing. Not as much like Melissa was saying. Like I have in general how many transactions I want to do. I have a dollar amount that I am reaching for. But really, my business plan is based on marketing. Like what am I doing to engage my customers? And then the follow-up part, which I think I mentioned earlier, I am supersizing everything that I normally have done. And being more aware that even the last 2 years, I got a little lazy, right, because I could, and done with lazy, and we're gonna double down on all of the relationship marketing that we've been doing and adding quite a bit more, which sounds counterintuitive, right, because we just heard save your money, tighten your belt, which is absolutely important. But to me, marketing is not where you do that. I mean, you might be smarter, right? So maybe I have an ice cream party instead of, $4,000 VIP happy hour or whatever, right? But I'm not gonna stop pouring into my customers. I'm just gonna try to do it smarter, and I'll probably, normally I hold 3 or 4 parties a year, I'll probably do 6 next year. And
What's the marketing stuff that you focus on?
so I follow Brian Buffini. If you don't know him, full stop, write that down, Brian Buffini. But I've been following his marketing system since 2006. And it's so simple, they teach it to realtors and we can do it. But it's implementation, right? So calling your database, writing personal notes to your database, client parties is a main tenet of mine because I love to have a party. Popping by, thank you, with small little gifts, just so that you can say, hey, I was in your area and I love what you did, house looks great, whatever. Showing up at a game, you mentioned that the other day, right? You've got a client whose son is playing baseball and you happen to be in the area, bring them a little gift and say, way to go, Johnny, whatever. So calls, notes, pop-bys, client parties, business mixers, leaning into your business relationships. That's it, it's really simple.
Okay, so for 2023, I'm gonna focus more on building the pipeline. I'm doing increased marketing within the military bases. I'm gonna do more sponsoring. I have that already in my budget. Last year, I was the official sponsor for the Jacksonville Sharks, and that was really cool with the corporate suite. I did it with title companies co-sponsored. I'm looking at doing that again, but I'm also gonna pick up some other teams just to get my name out there in front of others to increase that. I'm also gonna do some more open houses since they're back now, and because they weren't out before, and we're gonna actually hit the streets again. We're gonna do a little door knocking, get the new agents out there.
Door knocking's back, baby. Who loves door knocking?
Jason back there.
There you go. Fun fact, I built my business on 4 open houses a weekend for my first 2 years, and I door knocked 5 days a week, 10 houses every day.
That's awesome.
And it was just, honestly, and I'm not a salesperson at all, if you can't tell, I'm like, super I'm kind of lame, I'd literally knock on doors, half the time I didn't have a business card. And I'd be like, hey man, just want to say hey. My name's Melissa, what you doing? It was just a really it wasn't like a sales pitch or anything, and I'm legit, I'm not lying when I tell you, I got friends out of it and business from it because they were like, who's this happy little thing coming to my door, I got the door slammed in my face a couple times too, but, so 2023, okay, so this question's always hard for me, I'm trying to keep really fast, or really, really quick, and I'll talk really fast. This is a hard question for me, I get asked every single year, because I typically range, I don't know, somewhere between 55 and 75 million in volume a year, right? So it's a pretty high dollar amount, heavy transactions. And most people that are doing that type of business have some sort of very, very detailed business plan. Not me, at all. So I do the same, a lot of stuff that Wendy was talking about I do. So apparently I'm down with Buffini. I just never did it because I do a lot of that stuff internally. Yeah. So we do a retreat every December. And we do a kind of a look over of the previous year, and we talk about what we want our next year to look like in the form of humans and relationships, not numbers. So I've never, ever, ever gone into a year with a dollar amount in mind, with a transaction number in mind, truth be told, and you can believe this or not, I don't care if I sell 20 homes a year, 100 homes a year, 200 homes a year, does not matter. I care about the humans involved and who I get to be a part of their lives with. So I will not take away from 20 people for the sake of helping 200, because those 20 people are just as important as 200, if that makes sense, right? So we had a month this year that was very low for us. It was 4 transactions, and my marketing girl called and she was like, are you okay with me plugging this out? Normally you're closing 8 to 15, 20 a month. This is only 4, this is gonna look bad. I was like, don't ever take away from those 4 families. They are just as important as every other month. Absolutely. You post that, we are proud, and I proudly reshare that because those people matter to us too. So what we do is we take a word. Every year, we start a year with one word that's gonna be our focus. And we do all kinds of fun things at our retreat around this one word, and everything that we do and we touch and we talk about for that entire year is focused on that one word. So this past year, the word was impact. Everything that we touched, every person that we came across, how are we being impactful in their lives? How are we leaving them with some sort of lasting impression or something that changed their life? I could tell you stories that would probably put tears in your eyes. I won't do that, we'll save it for another day. And my entire team took to the streets with this, and they understood and they took it to heart. The byproduct is people want to work with you and they want to be a part of your life, period. And if they don't work with you now and they're a part of your life, I promise you they've got family members and they've got friends that they are praising you about, not because I'm the greatest realtor, because I'm a good freaking person, right? So making sure that you're going out and you're being intentional with it. Our word of 2023 is intentional. Like that is our, is it? I mean, I just, that's just how we roll. And yes, I'm not a dumb business owner. I know my operating expenses. Like I know all the things, guys. I promise I'm not all willy-nilly. Like I got the stuff, but it's just not our number one priority. And yes, are we gonna look at what are we spending every month? Do we need to trim here? Do we need to, reallocate this into this? VIP groups, I'm sorry again if you've heard me talk this week to bring it up. If you don't have a VIP group, get a freaking VIP group. It is so easy. Do your weekly giveaways with your people, love on them, talk to them, engage with them, go see them. If you want ideas, I'll send you screenshots of mine. I'm an open book, but I'm telling you, I am top of mind with all 600 people that are in that VIP group because we talk to them every single week and we love on them nonstop. The key is to be top of mind. So I don't know that actually answered your question, Maurice. I'm sorry, but that's like my game plan.
It's okay.
Intentional.
You don't answer any of my questions, that's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, I think we touched on it earlier. Share a lot of what you guys are talking about as well. So we do annual planning. We typically do a retreat, and out of that, we come up with our word for the year. This year is foundation. Next year it's execution. But I mean, there's that old saying, right? Like a good plan violently executed now beats a great plan executed next week. So sometimes it's just readying fire, right?
Amen.
Love that.
And so, I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, because obviously the market is changing, but we're gonna expand into it. So I'm confident that with execution, a good plan, violently executed, we're gonna do just fine and grow into it. So.
Cool. Maurice, you have any questions about specific strategies? Are there any questions about specific strategies that so I'm gonna do that then. Here, because every year I focus on 3 different pillars in my business basically. And it can shift a little bit, but typically for the year I've got 3 main, I was calling them strategies earlier, but then I thought activities is better because it's action, right? As Omi just said. So I want to share one of my strategies that's been a strategy for the past couple of years, and one of my big strategies going into this year. So if you want to write some stuff down, this is something that's super easy to do, and we'll get you. It's got me about probably 7 listings in my neighborhood this year. Anyone here live in Beacon Lake? Sharon, you have to leave. I'm just kidding. Especially if you live in an HOA community, and there's other ways to do this if you're rural or whatever. But you need to be digitally farming your neighborhood. I don't send postcards out. I don't really do anything on the traditional farming. But digitally farming your neighborhood is super low cost, super low time. And like I said, like 7 listings isn't a huge deal, but it is amazing when they're in your neighborhood because you already know the stats. If you're going to put a lockbox on or a sign in the yard, it's around the corner. Like it's super easy. You're out walking with your wife or you're driving to the neighborhood with your kids, you get to annoy them all the time, like, I sold that house, I sold that house. You guys know. So just really quick, I'll go over a few of the things that I do. The best 15 stinking minutes you can spend in a month. 15 minutes a month. Who's got 15 minutes a month to make lots of money? Neighborhood stats video. Go out in front of your neighborhood, if you have like one of those monuments or something, and just talk about how many deals closed. Average price per foot, average price, inventory, just talk about that stuff for a couple minutes. Do it on, you gotta make a video, you gotta do it on camera, and post that up in the neighborhood Facebook group. Who has a neighborhood Facebook group? You don't have it? Make it. People will be really relieved not to talk about a dog pooped in my yard again, or the kids are driving the golf carts crazy, or whatever it is. You're coming with something positive every month. Just post it up. It's 15 minutes a month, guys. And I promise you, 1, 2, 3 months in, you will be sitting on your couch on a Sunday afternoon and someone's gonna Facebook message you. Yeah. Hey Austin, we're thinking about selling our house. I watch your videos. Can you come by on Friday? Like, heck yeah, I can. So stats video once a month.
What did you just say though? 3 months?
do.
Well,
So we said in a couple
yeah.
months.
Well,
That's
it's-
the kicker is consistently and
Yes.
doing it until like knowing that you're not going to get a call the first time you make that video.
Today, now business, if you're starving, you need business today, open houses. Open houses, I did
But
open house
farming is
myself
different.
last week.
Yeah.
Farming, you think about when you're farming, you plant seeds, you water, you have sun, pest control, you know, and the things they grow over time. But the beautiful thing is, like, once you got everything growing, it just keeps going and growing. So, stats video, and then if you're in a neighborhood Facebook group, you just gotta be, again, it's consistent. I like gamifying my system, so I have a stopwatch that I set when I do this activity every stinking day. It's called my social media hit list. And I hop into the Facebook group and I like 20 posts, I comment 10 times, I send 5 messages, I friend request 3 people, and I send one, or I make 1 post, not every day, that's a weekly thing, but I also try to, my one is a different type of conversation. We can go to that another time. But just once a day, like hop on social media, set a stopwatch so you're having a little bit of fun. See, I've done it in under 7 minutes before, that's my record, and I did it on the screen share so I could show my team, like, this was legit.
That's good.
You're able to focus. You know I'm ADD, can you tell? So I could go down watching cat videos. I could start watching cute dogs and injuries and skateboarder injuries and all that stuff really easy on Facebook. So setting a stopwatch, seeing how quickly I get it done, and dang, it's 10 minutes and you're done, and you move on to the next thing.
And you're being very intentional with that. You're not just scrolling through, looking at it.
You know it, Maurice. You're a hit list guy.
Of course I am. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
So, and the third thing would be, so we're all living our life anyways, right? Who here is living a life? You have things that you like to do, hopefully you're doing stuff. Facilitate some sort of interest group in your neighborhood. So in our neighborhood, I didn't start this, but I attend it every Friday, last Friday of the month, whiskey bourbon night. People bring some bourbon, everyone just tries it. So if you don't have that in your neighborhood, it's a cool thing to start. We have a cool clubhouse. I started a business networking group. And it's not like I'm, right, Sharon? I'm like, any amount of real estate agents are welcome. All ships rise with the tide. All the financial planners, it's not like a BNI thing. Anyone is welcome. We meet the second Wednesday of the month, and we just get together and see how we can help other people's businesses in the neighborhood. You can do a poker night, bunco night, gardening group, sports clubs, book club, whatever you're doing and whatever you enjoy anyways. It's as easy as hopping in the Facebook group and saying, hey, everybody, next Wednesday, let's get together and talk about starting a book club. Let's get together and play poker. Let's get together and do whatever. And people will swarm to it. And because you're being seen now as an organizer, like people generally in the neighborhood think I'm a pretty decent guy. And I care about everyone's business, right? I do neighborhood spotlight videos. I do a lot of other things. It has developed a little bit, but I just have a good reputation in the neighborhood where people decide to sell their house. Yeah, I get a lot of phone calls. I know Sharon gets a lot too, but she moved away for a little bit and just moved back. So now I'm watching Sharon.
Watch out.
We're watching.
Abundance mindset.
But yeah, exactly. No, it's 100%. So a stats video once a month. Be intentional with your Facebook time, but be in there consistently every day for at least 5 days a week in your Facebook group. And then figure out some sort of interest group to facilitate.
Good stuff.
That's awesome
That's really
stuff.
good stuff.
And so you guys talked about marketing budget. Do any of you, or what are your opinions of partnering with a lender or some other person to kind of offset that cost? So you don't have to take on all it on your own?
Great question. Start down there.
I don't have a marketing budget much.
Okay.
I don't.
I know somebody mentioned marketing budget, so I just wanted to talk about that. 'cause-
My team runs events and things like that, so it's not so much me. So I'll defer. I've talked enough.
I mean, we have a marketing budget, and we spend a ton of money on marketing. I would love to partner with somebody on it, but I'm not sure that that's completely applicable for the house buying side.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my honest and raw opinion on this. If you're gonna go ask somebody for money, you better be providing value also and making sure you've got the business to back that up. Real talk. Because I think there's a lot of people out here running around calling up lenders or calling up so-and-so saying, I want you to do X, Y, Z. And when was the last piece of business that you sent them to? So I'm big on mutual beneficial partnerships. It took me many, many, many years to even consider having a joint budget with somebody. And even then I still struggle with it because I need to make sure that I'm doing my part and vice versa. But I think that sometimes this industry, some egos get in the way, and this is just, again, real talk. Apologies if I offend anybody or not. But I mean, if you're not doing your part, you can't expect somebody else to go pull the weight if you're not doing your part. So I think that it can work, but you need to get yourself to a point where you're providing equal value.
Well, I do believe in partnering, and I have done it several times. The last partner was a corporate sponsorship, and I did it with Golden Dog Title, and that was where we sponsored the Jacksonville Sharks. So you're able to get a corporate suite. Our theme was buy with Lisa, close with Lisa, get 2 tickets. And with the corporate suite, you get the booth. You can bring in up to 8 guests. You get all you can drink and all you can eat. And I'm telling you, the customers love it. And we get a lot of referrals because they tell all their friends about the good time. And it's right there on the 20-yard line. My booth is right there on the 20-yard line. So we've got our logo right there. Everybody sees Buy with Lisa Brandon. And you see Golden Dog Title, and we share everything. So I don't think there's anything wrong, but she's right. You have to both be bringing value. And I don't think they would partner with me if they didn't think, I was bringing value to them. So I do close a lot with them as well. So I do think you can do that. I think it's okay as long as you have the right mindset.
Side note, can I add something really fast?
Of course.
My response is more on a marketing budget. Like when you say marketing budget, I'm thinking a monthly, like you're in a consistent monthly marketing relationship with somebody.
Yes.
Yes. Listen, we do 4 huge events every year, and yeah, you lean into your people for that stuff, and typically, like, you want to be working with them also. But yeah, I definitely have people do. We're on the same page.
Yeah, okay.
Just wanted to make sure I clarify that.
I feel you. Don't have a whole lot to add to that. I've played in and out of just handling it myself or having support. But what I have found, what works for my comfort level is I will host a party and then I'll have lots and lots of giveaways. People like to come to parties where they have a raffle and you might win something. So I'll reach out to my business partners and say, hey, would you be willing, depending on the value of the property or the party, $100 raffle. One year it was a VIP, I said $300 minimum. And then they get to be invited to the event, so then they can also socialize, so they see value in that. And yes, it would be only the people that I do repeat business with.
All right. And so the last question, if you had one takeaway for the attendees in the audience, what would it be?
Oh, I'd have to be first.
I get all the time back here.
All right, one takeaway, don't be scared, whatever you're hearing. And it can be scary. It's a mental game. There's a mental toughness game right now. Your grit is gonna show up. And those who are the strongest will survive and thrive. That's probably more than one takeaway, but that's the best I can do.
Okay, I was gonna say the same thing. Do not be scared. She is right. The strong will be the ones that survive. But if you are struggling, please align yourself with someone that is strong. We can throw lifesavers. We can help. We can partner. Whatever you need. Don't just drown and die, because that will happen. You have months and months of no sales. Let's not do that. Let's work together as, Northeast Florida, right?
All right, this is deep one. You ready for this? Here's my biggest advice. Do you, boo? Stop overthinking it. Stop caring what the world is saying, what you feel like the world needs to see or hear, or be authentic. Listen, it's 2022. There's never been a better time in the world to be yourself. People are craving it. You've been on TikTok lately.
I try not.
Do it. It's amazing. I'm telling you, the people that are out there doing creative stuff, I mean, just look at yourself every day. Understand the person looking back at you is the only person responsible for your bills, your mindset, your day-to-day actions, nobody else. So who cares what every other realtor is doing? And yeah, find your people that you can be inspired by, and don't be afraid to tell them and say, hey, I need you in my life, man. Like, reach out to people. What's that?
I need you in my life.
I'll be in your life, gladly. Like, there are so many people out there willing to give themselves and their time and I mean, if you knew how many conversations I had a day just encouraging people. I'm not dropping any crazy education nuggets. I'm just telling them they got this. You're strong. You can do it. Like, sometimes you just need that. But like, don't be too prideful to reach out. Don't be too prideful to say like, oh no, like, you know, they're not gonna be like, just be okay with it. You're competing with yourself. Nobody in this room is competitors. We're all competing with ourselves. It's you versus you. Look yourself in the mirror every day. Remember who you are. You got this. And remember, nobody came to this industry to fail. Just don't fail. Choose to win.
How about Melissa's like energy? Don't you guys just love that? Yeah. I gotta follow her every time. Yeah, I would say, you know, lions don't think, lions hunt, right? So be a lion. Just don't overthink it. Don't get in your own head and you know, the relationships are critical. So have that mentor. Make sure you're reaching out, asking for help. You know, being humble enough to say, "Hey, I'm stuck. Like, what do I do?" Like, that's okay. So, you know, and the final thing is just don't give up, right? Just keep going.
What was the lions don't what?
Lions don't think; they hunt.
Love it.
I love that.
Write that down. That's dope.
Yeah, that's good.
Now I gotta come up with something. The grass is always. I got nothing.
Where you wondering?
I had to leave you with one thing. I think it's get awareness, and that's kind of along the lines of you do you boo, like you know.
Great.
Thank you. Awareness around your business though, like really know what are the activities, like what do you like doing? What are the activities that you're going to do? What are the activities that are going to generate money for you? Know that. Know what you need to do, when you need to do it. And I say that because at 10:26 today, I knew I won my day. I was done. Like if I didn't do anything else today, I did other things. But if I didn't do anything else today after 10:26, I knew I had done everything that I have to do to be successful and meet my goals, because it just becomes math. Once you have awareness around your activities and how many you have to do, and I know Melissa's probably cringing right now because we're looking too far ahead in the future, but if you wanted to make $100,000 and you know that so many phone calls, make so many appointments, make so many, you know, it's just that kind of math. You know, is if I just make like, you break it down to the minutes or to the day, you know, you make 3 phone calls today and I shoot 2 videos and I make 3 TikToks, I know I'm going to be successful because I have the awareness around that and I have the math to prove it. So get awareness, really understand like who you are, what you want to be doing, and yeah, to get out there and hunt.
Awareness too, like the conversation of self-awareness, exactly what you're saying. Like you say, I cringe, but that's my personality. That works so well for you and you've been successful in that. So being self-aware and knowing what works for you and what will help you grow is also extremely important. Like you may not be the type of person that wants to wink at themselves in the mirror every morning and say, "You got this, boo." You know, like, and that's okay, but be aware of who you are and what you know, what drives you and what helps you become successful, because that has been extremely proven for a lot of people. It's okay. That's why we're all different, and that's the beauty of this industry. Okay, I'm done now.
Absolutely. Thank you. Can we give a good thank you to our panelists?
Thank you.
So, do we have any questions from the audience that would like to ask the panelists? Yes, ma'am.
I actually have one going back a few questions ago about your predictions for next year. So you guys talked a lot about your predictions with rates. What are your predictions with prices? Because back in 2008, back in 2008, the inventory kind of flipped where it helped us bring that market to a shift, but the numbers that we have now don't really help support that huge flip. So do you see prices going down, or do you see them slowly rising?
Who wants to answer?
So I learned about 6.5 minutes ago to
Yes.
never predict anything. So I'm
Thank you,
a very,
Wendy.
very wise woman, but I know and adore. So I'm going to tell you, I have no flipping clue. You might want to answer that one though.
Go ahead, Randy.
So I won't make a prediction, but what I will say is that we had a huge double-digit run-up, right? So, there's gotta be a pullback, that's just not sustainable. And what I remember about the Great Recession is kind of the same thing, huge run-up pre, and then we would drop about 1% per month for 5 years. And then it went flat,
Okay.
and then it was flat for 2 years. And then we started to see growth again. And that was an extreme, it was really a depression, not a recession, right? So I would imagine something like that on a much smaller scale.
Okay.
That'd be my guess.
That makes, that.
And then Kim Knapp said something on Tuesday night that I have just been absorbing, and if you don't know her, she's a great leader in the space, and she said that prices cannot come down enough to offset the increase of rates. Meaning, let's say a house is $300,000, that same house, would have been a $1,200 a month payment, and now it's a $2,400 a month payment. You can't lower the price enough to get back to the $1,200 a month payment. You just can't. So we've got to come up with other ways to get buyers affordability, regardless of the price, regardless of the rates.
Any other questions? That was it? Only one more?
That was awesome.
How you don't take it personal from time when you frustrated?
Everybody's feeling.
So what's the question?
What's the question?
How you don't take it personal when you frustrated? Right now, the market's shifting and everybody can be frustrated. So how do you don't take it personal?
I didn't take it personal.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yes, I can move all day around, but I'm still a human being, a choice.
Yeah, so I will, Melissa, I know is gonna have the right
Yeah, Melissa,
answer for
I
that. But I would say, it's actually a skill that you develop over time. I can tell you how many times, like, I've been affected personally and would go cry, right, in the car and be frustrated or whatever. And it's just something over time you have to learn. And so the trick that I learned, it's just a hack, is to give yourself permission to be upset for said period of time, and you choose that time. Depending on the depth of the, I just lost $1 million worth of business 2 weeks ago. I gave myself 30 seconds to be mad about it. But that would have derailed me, for a month previously. So I said, I've got 30 seconds. Okay, done, right? So allow yourself, there's no way you can say, I'm not gonna be frustrated. Give yourself the shortest time period that you can stand and move on.
Do you have any kind of outlet in your life that allows you to release? Like anything, reading a book, certain types of music. Tito's agree.
I got a lot of friends, so it's like, but sometimes I'm a human being, like,
Sure.
and then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what I do wrong? How do I fix that? So I'm criticizing myself a lot.
So I would say choose a couple of things. A, choose to understand that you are human and it's okay, right? Give yourself that time. 30 seconds is aggressive, Wendy. I give myself like a whole 3 minutes. 30, and I can do 30. Understand that you can only control what you can control. However, there's always something that you can learn. So take at least one thing that you can learn. Don't overthink that. Don't think I need to learn every single aspect of this. No. Take one piece and learn from it and move on. But 3, and I believe in this wholeheartedly, you have to have an outlet. So I'll be totally transparent. This was the hardest year for me company-wise. I had to let 2 people go in a matter of 90 days. And if you've ever had to fire somebody or let them go when you are a kind-hearted person and you only want people to feel good when they leave your presence, it is extremely, extremely challenging. I gave myself like 2 hours with one of them instead of 3 minutes, but you're human, and I'll tell you, if I didn't have my passion for, this is gonna sound weird, so don't judge, moving my body. I'm a big believer in moving your body, whether it's yoga or working out or walking or Peloton. If you know, you know. Cody Brigsby is my guy. I know you know, girl. But if I didn't have those things to release those challenges, during that time frame, I was in such a bad place and I was struggling so much. I was literally working out like 3-4 times a day because every time I'd get frustrated, I knew I gotta step out in the garage, I gotta throw some barbells up and keep it moving because it's a pheromone thing for me. I believe that your body can release certain things if you are in control of it and you're being aware. If you go sit on the couch and you know, eat some bonbons and you sit there and let yourself stay stuck in that place, you're not gonna get out of it. But you're the only person that can do that. So yes, take it personal. Yes, be frustrated. Yes, be a human. But choose to put some things in place that can help you move forward from that because you're the only person that can do that too. You know what I mean? And call me if you ever need to vent. Or hit me up. Like seriously, I mean it.
I want to just comment on
Yeah.
that. I know it's go back and forth, sorry. There's a really great book that I read that helped me through this, and it's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, R-U-I-Z.
I need to come to your library.
So good. Like, I'd give that book out everywhere. And then, to piggyback on that, I got a Peloton last year, and I will get on my Peloton and cry. Like, I love my Peloton because it's like getting it all out. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Hey, go ahead.
My question down, because I also have ADD. Knowing what you know now, if you were a new agent in today's market, what 3 things would you focus on to grow your business?
Good question.
Ooh, that's an excellent question. You have the microphone.
Okay, knowing what I know now, I would say, like you said, the way you learn to control yourself in certain environments and the way you react to situations. Also, in real estate, trying to figure out different resolutions in terms of maybe creative financing, creative closing, trying to find a way to make the deal work. The third thing I would say is to make sure that you stay up on education. Stay in NEFAR, take the classes, put the letters behind your name like alphabet soup. You know, I love having all those letters, you know, but you definitely can work on your negotiation. There's a designation for that. If you're doing military, you could do military relocation professional as well as Florida military specialist. So I would say definitely stay focused on that, and that would be my third.
I'll do my 3 really fast and I'm not gonna give you any details. I'll just say the words. 1, social media. 2, open houses. 3, events. Client and community.
That was good.
I can't really offer a lot on the agent side, but I would just say that,
From the justice standpoint.
well, I would just say like owning real estate is, I would encourage you to, the agent hat's important, right? Like that's how you make your today money, but how you make wealth is owning. And so the sooner that you can own, and the more you can own, the better.
Okay, so can I switch your question? Because I also invest on knowing what you know now in today's market. What 3 things would you focus on as an investor?
So I would echo what Lisa was saying, like the creative finance, but instead of the creative finance being from like a service standpoint, it would still be as a principal. So like some of this debt that's available that is on existing houses from, you know, call it the last 5 years. Like I would try to assume that debt. It's in somebody else's name and it's at a lot less rate than you can get it today. And in the right circumstances, you can take control of that property and that's
That's
a
the way.
phenomenal way to
That's good.
add some zero to your net worth.
That's good. I like that.
Probably video. Like, shoot a lot of video. Get comfortable on it. Just use your stinking phone. Don't go buy any equipment. You don't need a gimbal. You don't need a drone. You don't need any of that stuff. That's called procrastination. Just take your phone. You got like the best camera. These phones are incredible. And just start shooting video, and the fewer steps you have between the camera and uploading it is better anyway. So just shoot the video, upload it. Shoot the video, upload it. And you might suck in the beginning, and that's okay because nobody's watching you anyways in the beginning. But then as you keep going, you're consistent, you get better and better. And so when people are actually watching you, you're actually pretty good. So just, it's evergreen, it's working 24/7. I could go on and on and on about video, but shoot a lot of video. Just get out there. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, question?
Yeah, this is for Mr. Dorsey. It was, so when you said creative financing and assume previous debt, that, like subject to stuff like that? Okay, I just wanted to.
Yeah, or wraps or master lease options or.
Okay.
I have a question. Which social media channels do you
All
find
of them.
most beneficial in today's market?
All of them.
All of
Depends on where your customers are.
everywhere.
So understanding social media and the audiences is really important, and it's actually a learnable thing. So I get pushed back on this a lot. I'm a social media nut job. I love it. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, you name it, I'm on it. But understanding, taking the time up front to learn the audience, because it's a very different audience across the major platforms, especially if you take like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as I would say my personal opinions are the biggest ones. You'd probably say YouTube, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, you do.
Again, I'm just a traction guy, so I'll go a slightly different angle, and I think it's know what's working for you. Like my partner Josh Rogers, he owns a lot of YouTube. He's got over 1 million views, and YouTube is like been the main moneymaker for a lot of years with the team. But are you on other things that support that? Yeah, you could do TikToks, you could do Reels, but trying to support your main platform in that case. Or like my social media stuff it's Facebook. I mean, I don't know anything better than Facebook for things like running a digital farm or just having conversations with people. But again, I don't know as much about the TikToks. I do them here and there. I dabble, but
Well, and here's
You
the
are
thing.
pushing 50.
yeah.
But here's the thing. So Josh just got on TikTok.
Higher rates.
No, he doesn't. Listen. You have, first of all, if you're gonna dance, you gotta put booty shorts on first. Like, you can't do a dance without booty shorts. So Josh here's a perfect example. Josh has been on YouTube for a very long time, very successful with it, just got on TikTok very heavily. You can tell it's videographer stuff, it's very professionally done. There's a reason why he got on TikTok, because he does the research, he knows what's coming, he knows what's changing and shifting. Social media shifts and pivots just like the economy does, the housing market, I mean, everything. And when you start to see a shift in that, if you're not paying attention and doing your due diligence and doing the research, you're not going to be successful on social media. Do you need social media to do real estate business? No. But if it's something that you can get comfortable with and get down with, I mean, own it and take over it. I've had a blast with it, and I've done a ton off of it. It's not for everybody. I would say if you're not comfortable with it, maybe don't force it. Or force it on some people and force them to do things.
You gotta force at least one.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. It's fine.
I wanted to comment on the social media. So, one of my favorite quotes is, "Principles don't change, tactics do." So why social media? That's a tactic, but what is the tactic for? To connect with other humans. They want to get to know you. It's really one way. You can't really get to know them unless you're watching their stuff too, right? So, I'm Facebook because that's my demographic, right? So I might not appeal to the millennials potentially, but if I was big, I'd do a little Instagram. But ultimately, the thing I was gonna say to you are, what 3 things would you do if I, could do it all again? I wouldn't be the secret agent, right? Like I was scared to tell anyone's a real estate agent because I thought everybody think I was a used car salesperson, right? And I'm not, that's not who I am, but they had to get to know me first, right? So don't be a secret agent, build your connections with people. Melissa Ricks, right? Whether you're selling or not, get to know people. And if you do that on social media, that's one tactic. But open houses is a way to connect that way. That's what she talked about, events. I love throwing a party because you get to meet people and see them. We usually aren't talking real estate, right? We're talking about their kids and whatever. So I would say, don't be the secret agent. Grow your sphere, grow your relationships. And then the third is always be learning, right? Like none of us, I won't speak for them, I don't know it all, right? And I never will. And so that's why I continue to grow, because I'm always trying to get better and get better and get better.
But my 19-year-old son, he does know it all. So if you have any questions,
They're the same.
a good resource.
Really quick, and I know we have to wrap up, but just to piggyback on that, what you're doing right now, and I'm such a huge advocate of this. There's a lot of talk right now because there's a lot of real estate events and panels and conversations, and there's some people in the industry that are too good for it. Let me just tell you, no matter what level you're at, if you are not willing to sit in a room with high-level thinkers and have high-level conversations, you are only holding yourself back. Period. So don't look at yourself as, oh, we're just fine with the masses or this. No, you're putting yourself in a position where you can better, if you leave any room that you come in with one piece of any information that you can implement into your life as a human, as a person, as a business owner, as a mom, anything, that's a freaking win. So don't let all that outside nonsense get to you. Keep showing up to things like this because you'll be better for it. And you'll start like finding that you're providing value too and it's reciprocated. So it's dope to be in spaces like this. Don't let the haters tell you it's not. Or send them to me and I'll fight them. So.
And we got time for one more question. Anyone else have one more question?
There's 3.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody has questions. Let's go.
I just want to provide a resource instead of asking a question. So for social media, if any of you want kind of like tips on what to do, this guy Zachary Faust, my boy, he has cracked the code on TikTok. So he's been on the Tom Ferry stage several times. Go follow him.
Spell his last name.
F-O-U-S-T. Zachary Faust.
Zachary, F-O-U-S-T.
Yeah.
House. Zachary Faust.
That dude gets it, and he probably has some talks on Tom Ferry's page as well. So
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, Jenny?
Lisa, what kind of military marketing have you found to work the best for you? Because I kind of fall short on that.
Yeah, for me, the marketing has been more word of mouth, because we can't really get on the base like that. But when I'm closing out the master chiefs or the sergeants, they will tell. And remember, they come over in groups. So it's more or less like, this is my realtor, Lisa. Oh, you got a realtor? Oh, well, she needs to do me and me. And then it's like 10 of them. And they're coming in all at the same time. So it's more word of mouth, just staying on, hey, every time you talk to them. Even when I took the call the other day from Bahrain, hey, anybody coming your way? And she'll say, yeah, it's 5 of us. And they'll all call.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say from a military standpoint, it's not a huge part of my business, maybe 20%, but Veterans Day is coming up.
Yep.
So if you have military vets that you either have served or are in your database, do something special for them. So we're writing 25 personal notes and throwing in $10 gift cards with basically saying, appreciate your service, thank you for your service, happy Veterans Day.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
We want to go ahead and thank those who put this thing together for us. First off, Landmark Title, Mr. John Depps.
First, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. My name is John Demps, and I am a title agent and closer here at Landmark Title. For those of you that haven't had the experience of conducting a closing here at Landmark, I'll just give you a little bit of background on Landmark Title and the services that we offer. We have a total of 14 attorneys and closers on staff. And that's a combined 250 years experience. I got about 230 of those years, so I don't know what the rest of them got, but that's me. We have an extensive support staff. When you are working with a closer, that closer, in addition to that person, has a processor and an assistant processor. So that just helps the process, the overall process, go along really, really smooth. We have 8 convenient locations throughout the Jacksonville metropolitan area. In addition to closing in our office, agents, we can close in your office. We've closed in people's homes, nursing homes, the jail, and wherever you want to close, we can close, okay?
ER.
ER.
Yeah.
ER. In addition to that, we also have Landmark University. We offer a number of the continuing education courses. We are approved to do that. If you would like to get information on that, we're able to provide you with a list of courses that we offer here at Landmark. Oh man, my voice scares. Our affiliate, Heekin Law. Heekin Law, we can assist your customers with estate planning, landlord-tenant disputes, contract drafting, real estate litigation. We also can assist with probate, probate issues. Sometimes, that is an issue with real estate. So if that is a problem, that's not a problem that we can't overcome. Lastly, we have Landmark Foundation, which is a 501c3. So $10 out of each closing that we do goes to the foundation. We also have opportunities for volunteers. If you are interested in volunteering, please, you can just reach out to me or Nicole, or one of the other closers here. Again, thank everyone for coming out today, and we hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
All right, so we want to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor is our Future Home Loans. Joe V, come on up.
Hey. Is this thing on? All right. How's everyone doing? Thanks for coming. What a great room. Holy cow. So if you haven't heard of Future Home Loans, we kind of started a group of 6 of us. There's 2 principals. I heard a few salespeople. When the surf was up, there was 3 people working. We had a house in Neptune Beach, and now we have about 8 states. I think we just got Colorado and Texas, and we care. I think that's the differentiating factor. We poached everyone from the call centers. I worked at Merrill Lynch, and I was told years ago that you have too much empathy to work in this business, and I made it my mission to say that it's not true. So, we're experts. You know, we work independently, but we work together because we understand the reputation of the company. There's emails constantly helping people save files, helping do things late at night. That's kind of what we do. We care. We go the extra mile for your clients. Why a broker? I'll have Brian touch on that a little bit. He's got some great conversation about that. But really, the optionality. Right now, I think a lot of you are calling with questions about 2-1 loans or assumptions or unique ways to help get people off the fence or help get a listing. We're here to help talk through that. We know all about them. I just had a 2-hour conversation about it on the way here. So please grab one of our ears. There's a few of us in the room here. Craig's back there. Andrew's back there. Brian's right here. This is Brian Lakey.
Hey guys, Brian Lakey, Future Home Loans. Really who you work with matters, and you know they're going to talk about the market and what's changing, and you know we're a community. Your partners that you choose to deal with, they're a reflection of you, and like we've really embodied that as a company. We lean into these relationships and really try to help anything that we can help differentiate you with your clients so that they become referrals in the future to future clients. It's really what this is all about. It's transactional. Having the best rates, having the best deal is important, but don't lose sight of like your people and who you work with. So thank you very much, Future Home Loans.
Most of you got shades in your bags because your future is bright, but if you didn't get any, hit me up, we've got more. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Future Home Loans. So next up, we have Ms. Cassandra Dorsonville from Nexa Mortgage.
Hello, everybody. Welcome here. So my name is Cassandra Dorsonville with Nexa Mortgage. For those who may have not heard about Nexa, we're a national broker. They're actually based out of Arizona, so I am independent. I have a team here in Jacksonville, and you know, I have 19 years experience in the business, and with Nexa, we have a multitude of loan programs that we offer. Investment, DSCR loans, commercial loans, land loans, like any type of loans you could think of, we can do it. I actually put a little pamphlet in your in the bag, so if you ever need to say, hey, let me reach out to Cassandra to see if she can kind of help with this deal, I'm here. I actually have a team that can help support making sure that any leads that we get from our realtor partners, that we can make sure we nurture them to create more referrals from those business. So that way we can feed back to you as realtors, because at the end of the day, our goal is to make sure that we can elevate your business and grow. So that's me, Cassandra. If you ever need me, my information is in the card, in the bag. And I'm here. All right, thank you.
And so next up, we have Jack's Federal Credit Union.
Hi guys, and ladies and guys. I'm Shauna with Jack's Federal Credit Union. We have a couple other ladies back there, Lori Bright and Lori Feechuk. And we are in the community. We're here, we're a local credit union in the community. We have 8 locations. So if you guys ever need anybody for a credit union need, we are here. And any home equities as well, we do that as well, second mortgages, things like that. So we would be happy to assist in any way that we can. And we have some cards and little brochures as well if you need it. Cool, thank you.